The first thing we'll do is disassemble the movement. But before you do that, if you're not familiar with these movements, what you'll want to do is take some video or photos or drawings of the various angles so you can see where all the wheels go for when you replace them and reassemble them. And make sure you do all the various angles. So here you see the winding arbors and so forth, and you've got your time side on this side, your gears that go for the time side. Your top, here's your governor, and so forth. Once you've gotten all those pictures done, and after you've had experience of working with these movements, you'll be able to assemble these without any such aids like this. Most of these are Terry type movements. All the movements that I've shown you so far are Terry types. They're the most common because many of the manufacturers of wooden movements closely copied Eli Terry's design. Also as a result of this, many of the parts can be interchangeable from other movements. It was Terry's original concept to mass produce movements with interchangeable parts. So first thing we'll do is we'll remove these pins. Now, I don't like what this person did as far as using these metal pins to hold this movement together. I think it's much better to use round toothpicks like this that will fit in, and you can just cut them off, and they're much more forgiving than using steel posts like this. Also, another thing that you might want to do is when you disassemble the movement, to keep all the time side parts on maybe in one container. Like for example, I've got this container here to hold all the time side, and one container to hold the strike side, so you can keep the containers to hold the different parts. So we'll remove all these items off the movement. Go ahead and remove the count wheel. Put that aside. And the movement slowly comes apart. Like so. And here we have our strike side and our time side, and we'll put our strike side into the one container, and time side with the motion works into the other container. Alright, now we have our plates. Now the next thing we're going to do is we'll initially clean the movement using mineral spirits. Most any mineral spirits will work of most any manufacturer. Be sure to follow all the safety and disposal instructions listed on the label of the fluids being used in this clock repair course. Cleaning the movement should be done in a well-ventilated area, preferably outdoors. Also, you should use latex gloves like these. Use some eye protective wear to keep from any splashing liquid out of your eyes. And then also, we're going to use these brushes. Now these are short bristle brushes, which are only about 1 inch long. Actually, these were brushes that were 1.5 inches to 2 inches in length, and I just cut them down to a shorter length with the scissors, and the purpose of that was so that I have a firmer bristle, because we're going to scrub these movements, the plates and the parts, with using these brushes and the mineral spirits. Otherwise, if the bristles are too long, they're too flimsy and not as useful for the purpose.